What's up, Chad? Market got smoked.
No kidding, right?
Jeez. What do you guys got?
I'm in the ACB pre-market right now. Got in about 480. I'm up a little bit, but
My list is a small list. I guess it'd be a big list for some people, though. If they were trading all these positions, it'd be like, whoa.
Yellow.
What's up? Okay. That name always gets me.
what do you think of that FTI?
What price did you get in?
480. I tried to get in at 465, but it wouldn't take my order. And I just kept going up and up and up and up. Damn it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to get in pre-market, you know?
Still like a lot of sell pressure right here. You can see it all through here. this area.
Where at? Sorry. Yeah.
I'd be cautious.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it's ripe, with the RSI, but the bands just look a little funky.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys have the GICS sectors, but these are basically all the sectors for the industry. So if there's each one goes through the SPY. Who is Douglas Dutt? Is that Cajun? I think it's Cajun. Yeah, it's Cajun.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Let me rename myself real quick. There we go.
So it's good to check out the sectors too, just because if they're all super red or look like they're going to go lower, it might be how your day goes. So that's something to look out for. Yeah. Financial doesn't look pretty. Utilities hitting resistance. You can see previously where it hit. 56.99. Yeah, so it's dipping. When you're when you have these nasty little pullbacks, you got to take a lot more time. It's more dedication and consistency to make money in these type of ranges. They don't pop out as nice as they do, and when we're moving up. Which this is what I was talking about yesterday. The semiconductors, AMD, NVIDIA. So it really needs to stay in this range and start going up. So it looks funky, I know. Yeah. Looks a little poopy. All right. If you guys have any thing you want to take a look at, just throw your ticker in the chat. Then we can FTI. Oh yeah, that's right. FTI. That's strange. The bands are making other markings on the chart. I'm kidding. My humor's terrible. This is where it initially bounced on that 60. Anytime you see something, look like this where it flattens out is always a good sign. But I think because of the overall index is dropping like they did, it puts, it drops everything down, but we're still in the green, so that's why this is not like I don't think it's going to drop a lot lower anymore. Oops. Yeah. See if I can fix it. There we go. $60, let's see, 22.10. What's up, Banjo? $22. So it looked like it went right previously back down again on the daily, even though we can't update that. Sucks. I would say you'd be pretty safe if you put an order in at like 22.10 or something. That's what the minute looks like. Yeah. I mean, it's in the green, so there's a few that looked a little healthier that I was checking out this morning.
Wait. Real quick, how do you navigate through the different time frames to decide which one you want to focus on?
High resistance, high support. Sometimes they pop out a lot easier than the other ones do. But if I'm just getting some sort of health of if it's going to bounce or not, I can do it pretty quickly. Just looking at the 5, the 160, and the 10-minute marker.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just wherever you feel confident in how long you're going to be in this trade for and stuff. So, you could check the 30-minute and stuff. I mean, I just look for those strong resistance areas. And if it looks just like it's rejecting everywhere, then I just move on, or set alerts and stuff to it. Like I have an alert for, I think I put MBR on my list. Where is it? See, it's like slowly climbing down to that daily. I think it did hit the daily though. I think it hit this bounce because I got an alert this morning. So that looks pretty healthy. It's done this before. RSIs are low. So I feel like MBR is going to go up today. See?
What confuses me is when I look at the different time frame. If you look at the 4 hour, it's at the bottom deviation of the long.
So what the best thing to do is check your daily first to see if it's in the green bands, which it is right here in the big green bands. Okay. And then check your other time frames and mark the supports and resistant lines. So you have a resistance line coming through here at that 322. So that would mean that it's going to cross this VWAP, or it's testing the VWAP here at this 320, 331. So this might, juke up and test this 329 range, which is another resistance line through here. So we're just seeing if it's going to roll over on the daily. So if it can break through some of these little nasty resistance through this range, then it's going to be a good play. The bounce, though, it was probably down here. So it's just a matter of when you feel confident into buying into it. So what I do is I just keep looking at the 322 range, and I'll put it like on the 10-minute to see if it can pass it a little easier. And you see there's a gap still here. So if there's a gap, there's no support, there's no resistance really hurting this. So 314, that's kind of how I look at it. The more resistance on the bands on different time frames, the harder the trade's going to be. So that's why it's good to just filter through those. Another good ticker I was looking at, it's just squeeze and see. Okay, so this is one of those like ballsy plays. You don't have to play it, but sometimes these things pay huge. Just like forgot which stock it was, and it was in a similar condition like this. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, and then it just shot up. So you could say a Momo stock, but it's when the bands kind of are flagging like that, there could be an indication that it's going to go up higher or it's going to drop immediately on the open. So that's, they're riskier plays and stuff, but when you have a brutal market going on right now, sometimes you can get a quick 20 cents off it. Let's see, RYB, that was another one I checked out. Again, it's looks pretty healthy on the 5-minute. RSIs look good. RSIs look good everywhere. Let's see, 7. So we say it dropped here at 787. So obviously when there is a squeeze like this happening, you have to be cautious, because the tighter these prices get, the more susceptible it could fall, or there's not a lot of room for decisions. So you have to, put your stop losses pretty tight. Like, for instance, if you bought, for instance, right now, I would, like 680 would be my stop loss. And if it keeps going, then you can take profit through these through these areas, and you can see it'll hit the VWAP on the 60-minute. So then, it might get a little trickier once it gets up here. So it needs to stay above where it's at right now. If that makes sense. We got Western Digital that's also rolling on the 5. It's at 42. So you see maybe the initial bounce was right there. This is definitely a slower mover, so you can take your time on this trade. You can put your order in if you want and throw it down at 41.66 for your stop. I do see that these right here are still pulling down, but as the price is lower, that's what happens. The bands react to it. But once there's a divergence, the first deviation will start curling up, and that's what I look for. It's like a warning detection system. Okay, so that's the ones I have. I don't hate AMD. I don't. I just feel like you guys have a magical tool, and you could play a lot more trades if you wanted to with less risk. You know, because AMD is sort of a chatty trend. You know, everybody's trading AMD, and I just feel like there's more profit out there than just that ticker. I know it moves. You know, it has good movement and stuff, but that's just my opinion. These people, a lot of people, they don't have the tools that we have, so they can't play these low bounces. They don't know where it's going to bounce. So, but AMD, looks like it bounced, and now it's squeezing through here on the 5. Let's see what the price is. 20. So this is a strong low resistance area. Okay. Now, again, this is why I was talking about the semiconductors, those sectors. And if you guys need to, either you can replay the video later, or you can take a picture of this. Get these tickers into your watch list. It's just like if you go on Finvix and you look at the map, you get the overall look of each sector. Oops. Almost spilled my coffee. Okay, so if the semiconductor sector keeps dropping, then this is where I can see it going a lot lower and maybe testing that $16 for AMD. Whoa. Thank you, sir. I think you got them all. Let me see. XLB, boom, boom, boom. There's 11. Is there 11 here? Yeah. So if you guys ever want to be like, you know, sound smart when you're at the bar or talking to other friends, like, yeah, you know, the GICS sectors are, you know, they're down about 10 points. He's about 4% today, or blah, blah, blah. You know, they'd be like, oh, cool. What the hell is he saying? I don't know. That's just how they input the sectors. So yeah, this could be one of those could be a quick drop this morning and then start bouncing for the overall. You know, we're getting close to some areas where it's going to bounce again. 260 to 266, 264. So it might drop some more and then start rolling up. That's my theory. Just because the RSI looks so tasty right here on this 60. It's the same with the QQQ. They usually are about the same. I don't know why I have eBay on here, but let's check it out anyways. Once the market chills out, I definitely like eBay still. So if you haven't bought into eBay yet, you should definitely get into eBay. eBay likes to go up to $35 or higher. Likes to make you some profit for a month. So definitely a good one to hold. When we have an upside, usually the scanner we can find some pretty good tickers for the day. It looks a little gloomy right now though. We're still in that middle range for the daily for the overall. This is where it needs to bounce pretty much, just like it has before. What's concerning though is we're still pushing this price down, right? It keeps rejecting out this VWAP through the daily. The bands don't look too bad. What else you guys got? You got anything, Doug? What are you looking at today?
Actually, nothing yet. I'm about to jump for a conference call.
All right, man.
I got a call this morning, so I'm not really looking at much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like distracted trading.
No, I agree. I try to get out of the way myself. Damn. This was on our scanner.
I'll run a quick scan though and see if like a couple of my favorite scanners and see if anything pops up.
Yeah. This was on my scanner.
What does
Before-
SKY look like? Oh, sorry.
Before the drop. Look at this. I had this one too. Daggone it. You hate to see that.
Anytime I see a bio or a therapeutic, I don't know. I kind of steer away from it.
Well, so like this area, right? Through here, you stay away from it. But as soon as it touches down onto this lower deviation on the big daily, that's when you pay attention to it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, on your daily, it's down there.
Yeah. So that's what we look for, So people were probably getting smoked every time they tried to trade through here. But, this was a greedy buyers. They knew exactly where to buy it.
Check out
So-
SKY real quick because I got to drop for a call.
Sure. Let's go. Let's see, $18, 1835. Looks like it wants to drop some more.
Yeah, still got some downward space.
Yeah. Yep. It might roll and it might try to break up through here at 19, but I think it's going to go lower. I would say anything after 1734, it's going to drop down to 12.
All right, cool. Y'all have a good one. I got to run.
All right, man.
Later.
Later. AEG. Come on, let's get one. Let's get one that's just going to explode this morning on us so we can get out of this nasty market for the rest of the day. If you guys are like ever looking at a ticker or you recommend me a ticker and I move to the 1 minute, I might be putting an order in. That's why I'm looking at that 1 minute. So it's looks good. Looks good on all the time frames. $55.09. $55.02. So what I do here in these situations, because it can look tasty and you want to buy in because it's all low in the green. It hasn't touched this level yet, so I am going to put an alert on it at that deviation. Okay, and maybe I'll miss the ride. I don't know, but then let's investigate that 502 real quick. So the best thing to do, you can use the 1 minute time frame for this, is that multiplier. And see if this is going away from the bands. There we go. 505. Okay. See, it's already crossed this deviation right here. See, it's already broke through. So it could keep going down to 506 or 502, whatever we said. Boom, another one. So if you start seeing the similarities, that's how I play those. See it smoothing out. And what's nice about because I get this a lot, is you have your extended hours and the bands look a little wonky, but then you have the normal hours and they look totally different. The daily never changes though, so you get the overall look of where the bands are trying to go, or the price is trying to go on the bands. So see, it looks like it wants to go for this 502 range. You see how it's not like dipping past it? The candles, that is, they're not dipping past this 502. So it's getting real close to for the bounce. That's why I like it. But you could pretty much say, if you bought right now, right, because you could miss it, you could either wait and buy it at 502, but maybe it's going to drop fast and then go up, or you could, put your stop loss at 502 and buy now. It's a little wonky. Or you put it like 499 or something. Lose like 10 cents and you can make like 30. So that's how I see it. And that's another thing with the multiplier too. Is you see how this like VWAP right here on the short is lining up with the deviation? That's a strong resistance spot. Okay. So I usually will mark it like so. Okay, because that's also where the initial rejection was after it broke through this deviation. Okay, which is also the short on the VWAP. Just to explain that easier, I'll just take away the long band, and you'll see what I'm talking about. See this VWAP right through here? So always good to take a look at those multipliers. I know they're a little overwhelming at times, but they do help. If you look at it simplistically, all they're showing is just the resistance levels and supports. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're just calculating the volume and the price, and they're measuring where the popularity was. So that $5 range. So then we just look at where the resistance is going to be, right? So we have 534. And to do that, then we'd probably go on a 5-minute chart. So 534, okay. Looks like it's all clear through here, right? It's not like crossing any resistance. That's good. Somewhere it is, though. I guarantee it. A little bit through here. Boom. On that 60, you see 2 spots right through here. So it has a couple of things it has to go through first. First through this, the 520. But then when it gets up to here, it could drop again or break through. So you would just move your stop loss up to these deviations. So if you get past this, then you put your stop loss here. If it gets past that, then you put your stop loss at 534. Does that make sense?
APHA is also in the scan.
Oh, yeah. So the multiplier, how we do the lines and stuff with the multiplier? Well, you could just use the multiplier without doing the lines and stuff if you just want to see where there's strong supports and resistance. Now, for bigger stocks and stuff, or something you're going to long-term hold or invest in, that's when I put the lines on there. So you see there's a little gap in between this area, right? The decision, either it's going to drop down to 352, right, which would put it down to the lower bands. Okay, which means it's breaking through this deviation, and these bands are still pointing down. Look at that. But they could start rolling out soon, like this. Okay. Let's see what the 5-minute looks like. Yeah, see, so again, look at it, how it's matching that deviation at 351. Okay, so there could be a red candle this morning, and then a green, and then we'll start climbing up. That's how I see this play. It's either going to go some of these it's depending on the volatility, and because this is such a cheap I was going to say coin, but a cheap asset. Sometimes people will buy right now, right? And then they'll get smoked out by the VWAP because the algos will be like, no, not yet. But I think as soon as all right, man, take it easy. I think as soon as it drops down, then it'll be a better time to buy it. So that's how I'm looking at it, at least. What do you see?
I mean, the 1 day is dipping down, but the 4 hour and the 1 hour seem to be flattening out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely flattening out, right? Like it's getting ready to get your purchase in. Okay. Mm-hmm. But again, it's the same story. You could buy right now and then put your stop loss at the support at like 362. Okay. So you put your stop loss, at 352, or maybe a little lower if you think it's going to bounce at 333, and then you just hold it and then let it roll. Okay. Or you buy it when it gets past some of this resistance on the 5. It'll fill your order and then it'll just keep climbing up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're running out of time on this one. If you're like, it's going to be testing this soon. So this has been a resistance area before. You notice that, right? Because even with the VWAP, it's lining up, and you can see that there was resistance through here before. So it could do the same thing where it hits this $4 and then it just rejects. It goes down lower. So whoever's trading this is very, very smart. Yeah. So if you ever feel like, if you want to see the channel of a stock, you guys pay attention, because this is a good one here. Put your 390 to 2. And if you have the option, if you're one of my students, traders, I don't know what you're going to call yourselves. Do 390 and 2, and then 390. Okay. And what that will create is a channel. And then that's when I look at like the 4 hour to see if it's in a nice channel, because it flattens out. Then we get into this like volatile mess through here. That, 470, okay, because they're kind of like colliding with each other. Let's try. This is like a newer stock too, so it's not going to give me that much info, which is unfortunate. See, this is a better channel for it. So it's played this role before. It's bounced off this deviation, went up, and then dropped again. So it could continue doing this. I would say after it gets past this 515 range, that's when I can see this thing going up. It's what? 440, 76. But this is a cool little trick you can do with the to make these nice little canals or these channels, and find out where it's getting trapped into for the resistance, right? And this is more of not the actual price, but just looking at the deviations of where it's getting trapped. And you can clearly see it's getting trapped all the way through here. Okay. On that bigger deviation. Again, it's more of just looking at the overall areas of where it's getting stuck. Because even though we're on a 30-minute, we're multiplying. If I pull this out, right, and let's take off the short band so I don't confuse you. So now we have this bigger band here, okay? So this is multiplying. This is looking a lot farther out. See if I can put it on at 1 hour. See if it's, yeah, there. Yeah, so you can see these sort of match up with each other. You can see that angle. How it's rejecting off this deviation through here. Okay. So you can get the same intel on a 30-minute chart. Why would that be important? Well, because it's going to move faster. If you waited for this part, it may take a little longer. So, and then you just break this down some more onto a lower time frame, which is right here. It's just in a tight channel right now. Like it's squeezing, like even the RSI is squeezing. So, but it's still in the middle. It's not touching a support, right? So either it's going to reject here or it's going to keep going lower. Or I'm sorry, pass through or go lower. To me, it looks like it's in a downtrend. This was like the same relevation that happened last time. And you said, Market, you said GSM. Banjo, do you have anything? I know you've been getting smoked lately. So try to attend these meetings when you can, and we'll, try to get some money in your pocket. Get you some profit going. GSM making an onion. It looks like an onion. All right. Man, look at that squeeze. These like cheap ass assets right here, they're really hard to, it's really tough to figure out where they're going. because they can be really volatile. But it does seem to be leveling out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it might be accumulating down here. So what's it? So I would say anything under 170 is a no-go. Which we're let me see if we're still in those black lines that I made. Yeah. Or no, actually it's under that, isn't it? 211 now. So I would say, because this is so wide down here on this 5 minute, I would say anything under, you're gonna, if you watch my crosshair on 209, you'll see that it's sitting right there, 208. You see that? So anything under there, it's going. And it's got a drop, man. Like, damn. So NC Therapeutics. Smoothing out here. Oop. Don't want to confuse myself. Put a mark right there on that support. Make sure we don't get tricked. That's probably where it's going. At 491. So it just it's going to probably do the same thing on the 5. It's probably going to go like this and then start rolling over. They'll be going through here and then start climbing back up. So you can either wait and buy the bounce or buy and set your stop loss a little lower so it doesn't get, you don't get stopped out and pay fees. Yes. See, this one's an accumulation. It looks like it's going to bounce here, actually. It's got room. It's got room to make it to $12 today. Why not? Yeah, you could put your order in there and stop loss at 1173. See where GE is. Hmm. Oh, damn it. That's in that 730 range, or did it roll? So it's at 720. Okay, yeah. See, so it's gonna go lower. That's why I'm not trusting GE yet. Just checking some of these alerts. They haven't went off yet, but still. anyway, that is going to do it for the webinar today. Just good luck out there today. Watch the indexes. Make sure you have them set up, either on Ameritrade or whatever platform you're using, just so you can get a visual of what's going on and why. If one of your stocks is not going up, then you know why. So I'll see you guys in the Discord. Take it easy.